Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So today I'm going to be doing a brand new video. It's a video I've been wanting to do for a while. It's more of my testimony video. I feel I should share my testimony of how I met my husband. Basically, for everyone in their single season who are wondering when is it going to happen, how is it going to happen, maybe for those who are losing patience, who think that God is not answering their prayers. So you need to stay tuned, okay? All right, so I'm going to start by explaining how we met. So I met my husband sometime in October. I met him, I think the first time we actually saw was sometime in October. And I went on a show. There was this show one of my friends used to do, so she would invite me for the show. So I went on the show, and he was also a guest. And that was the first time I ever saw him. Well, I didn't take notice of him because I was in something serious. I was in a serious relationship as at that time. So I just focused on what I was doing, and that was it. I went home. And I didn't know that behind the scene, he was, beginning to listen to me for every time I come on air, maybe checking up on my blogs, just really searching out for the kind of person I was. So I think it was sometime in December. Okay, sometime in November, I saw a Facebook request from a face I knew, sort of. I wasn't sure if I knew that face. So I just said, okay, you know what, I'm going to leave this request because I wasn't so sure if I knew the person or not. So I finally accepted the request, and the person sent me a message asking me a question about something which I didn't respond to. So like I said, sometime in December, my former relationship packed up. It packed up. So I was, mourning the relationship, staying at home, just trying to get myself to move on from whatever had happened, So the next day, the very next day after my relationship broke up, and I kind of knew it was final. It was like I wasn't going back there again. I was certain in my heart that that was the end of it. So when I went on my Facebook, I was just scrolling through my Facebook. I was just trying to see, you're trying to while away time, and I saw this message from this person. So I responded, and after I responded, that was it, and I remembered where I had met him before. Oh, you were on the show with me before. Oh, how you doing? Long time. Everybody just started catching up on everything, and we started talking. And I just noticed that, we were connecting sort of, but because I was coming out from something, I wasn't so sure, and I didn't want to just say, oh, maybe it is this person or it is that person. I just wanted God to do whatever He wanted to do, My breakup was still very, very fresh. So getting into another relationship was the very last thing on my mind, So while we're talking back and forth, I think this was less than 2 weeks of us meeting. I was like, okay, I want to go and see a movie. It was Christmas period. I was like, I want to go and see a movie with my brothers. It's been long I did something with them. I was like, okay, you know what, let me just take you. Let's go see the movie together. I was like, really? So at that time, that asking for a date was like a very, very next step for me. So I was kind of maybe cautious. I wasn't so sure anymore. So I had to message one of my friends who also worked where he used to work. So I was like, oh, this guy is asking me out to go and see a movie. And she was like, okay, you know what, you can go, just guard your heart, just, just normal girls talk. Now when you're just meeting somebody for the first time and all of that, but he's a cool guy and all. So I was like, okay, let me try, let me go. Let me know what he has to say. Let's go and see a movie. There is no harm in actually making a new friend, just coming out from something. So what's the worst thing that can happen? So on the 26th of December in 2018, went to see a movie, Chief Daddy. and we talked all through the movie. There was always something to talk about. There was always, I noticed the connection was good, but I wasn't so sure because God had already told me that I was in my marital season and I was going to meet someone, but I didn't know it was going to be that soon. I mean, I just broke up in December, not up to 2 weeks ago, with someone, and I wasn't expecting I'll meet somebody so soon. I was thinking maybe, okay, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, and but this time around it was like almost in instant. So I wasn't so sure. So when he said, okay, after we saw the movie, I was like, let's look for somewhere quiet so we can sit down and talk, and all that. I was like, okay, let's go and sit down and talk. So we started talking. And after some time, it was like, I just want to tell you that I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I was like, this is the first time we're like sitting down together to see and to, talk. So, like, how is that even happening? How is that possible? So I was scared. I was shaking. I was just blown away. Like, I couldn't hide it. I was literally shaking because I was like, how is it that it's happening so fast? I didn't expect. I was expecting that everything would take some time. I would maybe have like 2 years of maybe getting to know somebody else. But now somebody coming to me to say, oh, I want to get married to you and all of that. It was too sudden and I was scared. So it was like, what, talk to your parents, pray about it, and get back to me. So, I mean, before he would even say all those talk to your parents and everything, I already knew that he was the one I was supposed to get married to. But I was too shocked to like say anything. I cried. When I got home, I just cried very well. I was like, God, why are you doing this to me? Why do you want to take me on this journey at this time? I'm not ready. I'm not settled. I just had different excuses to give to God. But at the end of the day, I think I did something kind of different from what I would have usually done or what I did in my past relationships, which was to tell my parents before I would say yes to him. At least I told my mom. I called I called my spiritual mom at that time. I called her up. I said, see, this is what is happening. This is it. So everyone just pray. I don't want to make a decision just because of how convinced I am or whatever vision or whatever dream. No, I want to be certain that this is the person, and I want every other person around me, every other person who is spiritual around me to be able to, come up and say, okay, this is it. And I think that was the first mistake I made the first time. And I wasn't ready to go through a whole circle of heartbreak again and, going around and getting everyone to approve. So, well, for me, I felt, what, we're going to do this for 2 years. We're going to cut for 2 years or maybe a year. Then maybe after that year, we'll now start talking about, okay, marriage or settling down or anything. Yes, we could be engaged, but let me just have enough time to, move past whatever I'm feeling. So, I spoke with my mom, and I mean, she just asked me, who is this person? She just asked me to describe him and all of that. And she was like, I think he's the one. I said, why? She said, because I've always known that it's someone like this, you're going to get married to. So I think this is the person. But she said, you know what, I'm still going to take my time to pray about it. So she prayed, every other person was praying. She told me, she confirmed it. My spiritual mom confirmed it. And I already now see, this is the thing. Sometimes as singles, we think we have to see a dream, or we have to see a vision, or we have to hear a voice, telling us, oh, oh, this is the person in whom my heart is so pleased, But for me, it was more of this inner witness in my heart. I knew it in my heart. And there was so much peace within me. Though externally I had a lot of turmoils, I had my own personal issues going on. But whenever I thought about him and thought about being married to him and all of that, I just had this inner witness. I knew it was it. But my struggle was, okay, let's cut for a long time. Let's have a long time to date. Let's have a long time to get to know ourselves. And God took me to Genesis 24, and he was talking to me about Isaac's wife. And he was like, did she have to know Isaac for a long time? I said, no, Father. I said, okay, so if they didn't have to know themselves for a very long time and they fulfilled destiny together, why do you think that I can't lead you in this way and you still fulfill destiny? So at that point I repented, and I think on the 31st of December I said yes to him. So it wasn't up to 2 weeks of the proposal. I think it was just after 5 days I said a yes. And that was how we started. We had our introduction sometime in May. We had our traditional marriage in September and our white wedding in October. Now, the truth is, the journey has been full of faith, full of love, full of, especially much more deeper revelation of who God is. It's been a journey. I would say it's been a journey. And for at every point we get to, we see God's hand in it. There was no opposition. Everyone was in agreement. Everything went on well. The enemy came. The enemy struck during the wedding. I might do another video about that. But every process was led by God. The dates were led by God. Everything has been led by God. And to be frank with you, I kept wondering, why was I fretting? Why was I afraid? Why was I, cooking up and having issues with people? Meanwhile, the journey God was taking me to was going to be free of worries, free of stress, and full of his peace, full of his love. So if you're in that season where you're waiting and where you're trusting God, believe you me, the only thing and the best thing you need at this moment is a word from God. And when you have a word from him, if he says wait, please wait. Don't bother yourself trying to get into one relationship, trying to date people and all of that. I'm not saying you can't go out on dates, but what I'm saying is this: the person you're going to end up spending the rest of your life with, only God knows that person, and only God can bring that person to you. So it's not up to you to try to figure out how God will do it, because previously, I was full of calculations. I was full of, okay, when I just come out from school, I need to start dating this person now before I get out of school, so that once I come out from school, I would be married. I don't want to stay in my parents' house. I just want to get out of this house. But the moment I rested in God and I enjoyed where I was, I started enjoying my parents' house. I wasn't in a hurry to leave anymore. I just wanted to be their child. The moment I made peace with where I was and I became contented, God stepped in. So it's important we understand the season that we're in, and we understand that God can do just anything at any time. So all we have to do is to rest in him. Thank you so much for watching this video. I think it's been a long video. It's almost 13 minutes, almost 14 minutes. But thank you so much for stopping by. I would love to see your comments. I would love you to like this video, and please share with your friends. Share with anyone who is wondering if knowing somebody for a very long time is what would make their marriages work, or dating someone for a very long time is what would make it better. The most important thing is that you flow with God. The most important thing is that you go with him and make sure he's the one leading the journey. Let it not be your emotions. Let it not be you. Let it not be your timeline. Thank you very much for watching. I love you all. Bye.